Been a very extensive stakeholder engagement period for the last about 3 weeks or so. Religious groups, employers, education, group workers, some elements of civil society groups, etc. Very extensive engagement. And the reason for this engagement has been about 3 or 4-fold. Today, the science and the data that deals with the dynamics on the virus tells us that in Ghana, we are not having high mortality rates, even though our cumulative case count has gone up. And our active case count is also up, I think somewhere around 5,000 or so. And it is largely because of the kind of surveillance mechanism we've put in place, both the general surveillance and the enhanced surveillance. We've also got a very strong set of layers for protecting the Ghanaian population. One, the closure of the borders, which limits or cuts out vertical importation. 2, the restrictions on movement. And then 3, the preventive etiquette, which we've been preaching, and a good semblance of the Ghanaian community is complying with, although there are still a lot of people who are not complying with. We must be very honest. These 3 levels have contributed, in addition to the case management approach. They've contributed to a situation where we're not having very high mortality rates. One death is still one too many, but at about 36 out of almost nearly 8,000 or so, our dynamics are a bit different from what is happening in the world. The world has also come to a certain realization that to the extent that a virus, an antivirus has not been found, or a cure has not been found, the virus will continue to be in the ecosystem, the global ecosystem, for a while. So if the virus is in the global ecosystem, we have a low mortality rate because of how we are managing it here in Ghana, and a perpetual lockdown or a lockdown ad infinitum is not a solution in itself. Then it stands to reason that we must find some middle ground where we can ease up for people to live some sense of normalcy and at the same time protect the general population. It's in the midst of this that the president has been engaging, taking feedback. Various proposals have come to the table. We may have opportunity to discuss some of them, especially in the area of education. Some of them absolutely make sense. Some of them are not backed by science and prudence, and we've had opportunity to explain. My colleague, the Honorable Matthew Oppong Nkrumah, has led an extensive engagement, but they've had opportunity to explain to the education community what is feasible and what's not feasible. And we have come to some semblance of a middle ground.